We're gonna try this again. Take it back to 1. All right, folks. Well, good evening. Somehow we have reached the end of this. This lost media classic that will be talked about, for ages to come. Uh, Congratulations, everyone. We have survived long enough to have done our own magnificent ampersons. All the best stuff is on the cutting room floor, cannot be restored. Um, I mean, I can call myself. I guess I can compare myself to Orson Welles, given the amount of weight I put on over my birthday. Hello, hi. Let me come out and post. So welcome back to A Furnace of Doubt, our Dostoevsky experiment. Is it Dostoevskian? I don't know. We have a bunch of neurotics doing crazy things, and somebody just got killed, so it's within a couple meters. It's a horseshoe's chance here. Um, I'm joined by this really cool cast who are smarter and less tongue-tied than me tonight, probably. So I'm gonna just introduce some. So we're gonna start with the right person, I think, because tonight may be their night. So please let's welcome Daryl, who is playing Leonid Ruslanovich Markov, a kind-hearted police officer.
Which was revealed to be a lie. Yeah, so actually, Leonia is a cop who wants to be a bigger, better, shinier cop, and who has, up to this point, appeared to be rather like incompetent, but was revealed at the last episode to not have been as incompetent as he was presenting himself to be. At the end of the last episode, it was revealed that Leonia was actually spying on Misha all along. Um, to see if our aforementioned count was actually a revolutionary. It turns out that when you are spying on someone, you should maybe not sleep with them, because then it leads to all sorts of messy things like lying to your superiors about how your boyfriend question mark is not a revolutionary, and then also giving that superior the name of one of your boyfriend question marks friends whom you dislike and want to get rid of, regardless of whether they are or not a revolutionary. Lucky for me, they happen to be a revolutionary. Also, I have a gun. Maybe. We'll see. I've got a whole lot of feelings, but the thing is that I'm finally getting some of that respect I deserve.
Wait a minute. Chekhov Society is down the hall if you've got a gun. We needed to have seen that earlier. Um, so let's move on next to someone that no doubt will be caught up in the middle of all these machinations. Our dear Leandro, who is playing Clara Georgievna Sosnskaya, I don't know, a nice liberal lady who's in over her head.
Yeah, I mean, her liberal credentials can certainly be questioned, given that she seems to have mostly fallen in with the leftist revolutionary cause because she found certain members of that cause quite hot. Um, and so, who's to say how liberal Clara is? Like, she's a socialite who likes feeling good. Um, but over this whole series, this whole incoming doom regarding her ex, whom she helped her family exiled. Minister doesn't have to deal with him and their daughter. Has finally come back, has confronted Clara, stated his intentions, used Tanya to set up this ambush, has revealed that he has molded their daughter to be a weapon against her. And so, yeah, the clock that has been ticking this whole time, well, now it's still ticking, but it's louder than ever. And she'll either somehow escape scot free and be an example for her society at large, or she's doomed. No, she's doomed. No, she's absolutely doomed. It's just a matter of what kind of doom we can sketch out for her, or she can get a happy ending. Who's to say? We have been Magnificent Ambersons apparently. So
Well, that's fair, but I don't know. I should point out, found a revolutionary hot accounts between 30 to 70% of all leftist recruiting. So speaking of hot revolutionaries, why don't we go on to my dear friend and constant collaborator, Fina, who is playing Count Mikhail Grigoryevich Katavasov, a nice gay young man who thinks he's a revolutionary but is in love with a policeman. So
yeah, it turns out. Misha is not actually all that complicated in a lot of ways, but he does have that thing where he's insulated and privileged and believes in revolutionary ideas and doesn't necessarily think that the consequences of those ideas will ever touch him. And so when he had a crush on a cop, he thought, that guy's for sure being genuine and is just interested in me and not in any way a spy. No. There's never been consequences for Misha in his whole life. And so he just wandered down the primrose path there. So it's all going really well for him. And nobody that he cares about died last episode. And his dreams and high ideals have not been thrown into question in a way that makes him consider the slightly less peaceful way out of his current situation. It's all gonna be fine. Yeah, that's all.
So, to be fair, the Mishas of Russia will form the provisional government of Russia between the February and October revolutions, and they did they were
job.
there.
They did a job.
Yeah, it's not like nobody was around. It's like somebody was around.
They performed a function. They warmed seats. They were really good at it.
I mean, definitely the thing everybody wanted to hear was, let's continue the war.
It's fine. It's chill. War's great.
War is great. Probably not the motto of Richard's character. His Max is a gentle, kind soul who owes a lot of money and probably is the one revolutionary who has any idea what he's doing. So I'm sure he'll come to a bad end. But please, let's welcome Richard, who's playing Maxim Yegorevich Yashin.
Yes, because revolutionaries who know what they're doing become journalists for non-political newspapers, or for Tsarist newspapers, or for any newspaper that will give him the time of day or a paycheck. Has no idea what he's doing because a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, possibly even 2 weeks ago, Max had visions of Stepan Mikhailovich dragging him out of the sewers and singing "Bring Him Home" while Max was wounded. Except Max has never been courageous or useful to a revolutionary cause in his entire fucking life. Max is largely just has visions of being a courageous revolutionary, but really is just an underemployed journalist who also works as a gardener. Um, Look, I have friends in exactly this position, except they're actually more courageous than Max. Um, so he recently learned that the favor he thought he was doing for his landlady for money actually had a moral cause behind it, and that somebody has suspiciously shot the one writer that Max ever idolized, and dropped him into the river. Um, so Max is devoid of anchors, engaged heavily with despair, and also has recently purchased a gun. Um, so this entire episode is set up to end extraordinarily well.
A, a, a point of order, 2 points of order. First, I mean, there once was a underemployed journalist who just needed a break, and that young man grew up to be Karl Marx. And now you know the rest of the story. And second, we didn't
German.
we didn't kill Stepan Mikhailovich. We killed Ivan Yevgenyevich. So Stepan is still alive. Zakharov is okay.
Sorry, I had my names wrong.
Yeah, no, it's totally okay.
Sorry. I had my names wrong.
Oh yeah, we
Stepan Mikhailovich is still alive.
Yeah.
This is what happens when there's 2 weeks between episodes.
Oh, I know. It's my fault. We'll fix it in post. But,
nothing is your fault. Absolutely nothing.
Just Stepan is just going to deal with the trauma of having helped to participate in the political assassination of another human being.
Right. Yes. Sorry.
By that crazy bitch. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm playing that crazy bitch. Panya, Praskovia Pavlovna Semyonovna. She's a revolutionary. She's definitely a big shot in a vast revolutionary underground, and totally not like a part, almost a free agent trying to suck up the people who live in Switzerland and will never have to deal with any of her stuff. Anyway, she came to Russia to plug a leak in her organization and found it and plugged it by putting a bullet in the back of his head and dumping his body into a canal. She's totally going to be fine. Absolutely fine. No problems. She's made of very stern stuff. So I promised that we would maybe kick off with a little coda, and I was maybe a few scenes to just sort of set us up for where we're going to end up, because I have no idea what the last novel chapter is going to look like, except it's probably going to be a humdinger. Do we want to do anything else? Like, do we want to see do we want Max to have a late night visitor too? Do we want to?
No, I think Misha's going to have an early morning visitor, but we can do that as a visitation now or a visitation later, whichever is better.
Do we want a scene with Leonia and Anton maybe being called to the case?
I have to remember who Anton is.
He's my co-cop.
He's the co-cop.
yeah.
He's a good ass co-cop.
I don't know. It's not gonna leave.
I also wouldn't be against a late night, like Misha showing up late night to the police station because his friend is dead.
Here's my deal. I think all the scenes should be the night of, or
Yeah.
immediately thereafter. So if you
Yeah,
have
that's
a
what I'm
good
thinking.
idea for a little,
I am more than happy to go. Why don't we do a 4-way scene in which I bring Misha to the station? Is that okay? Because I have a key piece of information, but also I have the contacts who would tell me that I need to, like, this is also the kind of like thing that is unimportant to most of the major Moscow papers. And so they send somebody as a second-rate stringer too.
Yeah.
That all makes sense.
Yeah, I love that.
I think so, yeah.
So, do you want to talk with Misha and arrive, or are you already at the station? Or
I think we can imply a lot by Misha and I arriving together.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Anton's near the front. He looks and he's talking to some kind of shabbily dressed guy. Like, I don't speak German. What are you saying? You heard a shot? Throws up his hands, looks over, goes, "Oh, Count. On the tip of my tongue. Maxim something, right? I'm sorry, I forgot your patronymic.
Anton Yurievich, he is speaking French.
He's speaking French, this fellow? I thought I could have sworn it was German. Huh.
They do sound very different.
I don't speak either. I should learn more French. It will help me with integrating into the life of the superior officers. Are you here to see Leonid Ruslanovich?
Misha's like eyes are red rimmed and it's like he's like all rumpled and like messed up looking. I understand that a friend of mine has been his body might be here.
Markov, do we have any bodies?
Ivan Yevgenyevich Oblonsky, yes.
At that point, Leonia comes out and like, sorry, is the audio okay?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah.
So at this point, Leonia comes out and is like looking through paperwork and then looks up and sees you there and like visibly blanches, like the color just fades out of him. And it says, "Oh, Count Katavasov, Maxime, what are you doing here so late? Please come in. I'm sure that you are here to report some petty crime or something."
Markov, they're saying something about the body of somebody or the other. We don't have any new bodies.
Vasov is here to identify a body so the members of the deceased family can be properly notified.
Maxime, I don't know what kind of newspaper garbage you have wrapped up the count in, but I'm sure that there is no such thing that needs to happen right here and right now. I hope that you have not scandalized the count with some
the body of Oblonsky,
the artist.
At that point, yes, please come this way, and gestures glaring daggers at you over to like one of the
daggers at, or both.
To you specifically, and like with the most shut the fuck up look that you have ever seen him give, like the most unguarded look that you've ever seen him give.
Wait, is that the name of that Vanya dough we pulled out of the canal?
Possibly. The paperwork still has not been finalized on that one. Anton, Tasha, please continue taking the statement. It's important that it gets filed before midnight.
I pulled the journalist version of the Hot Fuzz move, where I literally whip out my notebook and start writing down everything everyone says while muttering it under my breath.
And that is the point where I literally stride over, grab said notebook from your hands, and yank the two of you into one of the common rooms, or into one of the private rooms.
As soon as the door closes, I turn to you and I'm like, Leonia.
And I do not even react to that. I slam Max against the wall and I look him dead in the eyes and I say, "Why did you bring him here now?"
Because a dead man's family deserves identity.
This living man doesn't need to be connected to that particular dead man.
This particular man is the only one who can correctly identify the person that I knew of when I found out about this death earlier this evening.
Max, are you just completely invested in ruining people's lives? Is that how you get off? Is that what you do for a living?
I'm invested in an artist who is deceased and who needs someone to identify who they are.
If you're so eager to look at a dead body, you came to the right place. But why did you have to bring someone else who could also end up dead?
While
Misha
you two are talking,
is
Misha has like sunk into a chair in the corner of the room, put his face in his hands, and is like weeping quietly.
Misha is someone who can identify this. Misha is someone who can identify the artist Oblonsky without needing to call in his family from Moscow.
His family from Moscow should have come in because the Count does not need to be here to identify an assassinated revolutionary.
His family will not be here for 3 days.
He'll keep.
A brave man is willing to identify someone who you found in the river, who you could a death you could not prevent or were uninterested in preventing.
Max, do I have to spell this out? I do not want the Count related to a case where a revolutionary was assassinated when I have worked very hard to keep the Count's name away from said revolutionaries. And I swear to God, if you put that in your paper, I will end you. You will be the next body in the river.
I swear to God, if you do not let Misha do what Misha wishes to do, then I will let you put me in the river. But first I will publish that you said.
With that, there's a knock on the door. Anton just opens up, leans in, and goes, Leonia, do you need a hand?
At
It
this
seems
point,
there's some issue in allowing us access to the body so that it can be identified properly.
Yeah,
I will spend a resolve token.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Send a resolve token. Do it.
Yeah, I will spend a resolve token to tap into like the Boys Club police code, and I will say, this one needs to go.
Ah. Yashin, Maxim Yegorovich, may I see your passport, please? Russia had internal passports.
So weird.
Count Kedavesov, do you want me to wait outside for you?
And he looks up from between his hands and says, "Of course, it's fine."
I'm just saying, if Leonia, do you think that this is qualifies as a public disturbance at a police station?
I think that at that point, Leonia looks over at Max and hopefully has made the threat as explicitly clear as possible.
Do not drag an honest person's name through the mud because you don't want someone I correctly identified. At which point I step out. I give your arm a squeeze, Misha. Come find me if you need me.
I'm going to want a coda between Anton and Max in a minute, but let's let the rest of this scene play out.
At that point, like, you definitely heard the part where I said I was hiding your connections to the revolutionaries.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions, but I'm also pretty emotional right now. I don't know why you were trying to hide my connection to Vanya. He was my friend.
Misha, when there is an assassination, people start looking for connections and they start reading into those connections, even if those connections are not necessarily reflective of your actual bond with someone.
I knew his brother, his mother.
And as much as it hurts, his brother or his mother need to be the one to identify his body. It's already so dangerous for you to be here. If one wrong person sees you here and now, then there will be more questions. And I do not have the ability to deflect all of them.
I understand.
And he there's like a furtive look to make sure that the blinds are pulled, but then he pulls you up and pulls you into a really tight embrace. And he says, I know that right now, all you want is some form of explanation, some form of justice. And I know that it is not pleasant to hear me say that you must wait for those things, that you may never get them. But right now, my priority is to make sure that you do not get wrapped up in this.
And he starts like crying into your shirt and says, I was going to get him out of the country.
Whatever was going to happen doesn't matter anymore. You were probably trying your best, but right now, the person that needs saving here is you.
Okay. I can't do anything, can I?
No, I'm sorry.
Well, maybe there's something I can do. Just not here.
Misha,
he,
do
like-
not do.
He like stands up very straight, pulls away from you a little bit, like wipes his eyes and says, I'm fine.
And like Leonia sees the resolve and is like a little heartened by it, but then like immediately is just like, Misha, I need you to understand that you cannot do anything right now. Do not contact anyone. Do not tell anyone anything. Do not let on that you know what you know. Things are about to happen and you need to stay safe from them.
I promise I will do everything I can to not get in trouble.
I've known you long enough to hear your fancy words and see through them.
He like leans in and kisses you right on the little, like the corner of your mouth and says, I promise I will be as safe as I can be.
You see him just like crumple and shake, cross his arms and put his hand in his face and say, will you go now?
Am I sneaking out the back like a thief? Ooh, should I wear
Better
a
than-
mask? Or a costume?
We may drape something over your head. Pretend you're a famous opera girl.
You just want to see me in skirts.
And out of them too.
And he like leans in and like is like kind of confident and happy for a moment and kisses you again very quietly. Let's do this.
All right. And then at that point, he does the thing, starts to look out the window, they're plotting, and then there's the come with me. And then they slip through the police station.
So I think we can cut to Tosha and Max, because Tosha has been just sort of strong-arming Max towards the front of the building, and then kind of just shoves him up against the wall. It's like just looks at him like, "Say, Ashton, sounds like there's going to be some trouble."
I'm uncertain what you mean.
Sounds like there's been a political assassination, and it sounds like some people are going to go and take the fall for it. And it sounds to me, oh no, wait, it doesn't sound to me. I happen to know because I filed the report myself that you're on at least 3 known associate lists. But don't, before you decide to throw your hatred back at me, let me merely point something out. There's a great tradition of the journalist, the tribune of the people, who is willing to allow certain undesirable elements of his movement to be removed to help the body politic, in return for which he will take upon himself a certain immunity.
I'm uncertain what you're talking about. I'm a
And
guard for the Count Katavasov.
I'm sure you wish to protect the Count Katavasov, yes?
Protect him from what?
my dear boy, I could send a Blintz to Siberia if I wanted to.
You're very certain of yourself.
I am not certain of myself. I am certain of His Majesty's trust that he has placed in the police organs.
Ah,
I understand you've had more than a little trouble with the censor. Some of that could be potentially alleviated in return for information. It
oh,
is,
that's
I
interesting.
think,
No one told me I had trouble with the censor. I thought I just had trouble with my talent.
do you not think that there is no reason you cannot get any pieces published lately? And the ones you can come back with half their pages ripped out? Please, sir, let us understand each other.
Never read a manuscript once it's submitted, and I assumed I was just a terrible writer.
My dear sir, let us understand each other. You are a weak-minded liberal who believes in democracy and peace and all those other things that we both know will not come to Russia for 100 years, if that. And I am sure you think am a cold-hearted, unfeeling authoritarian.
Do you care what I think about you?
Not particularly. Do you care what I do you care what I think about you?
I'm a garden servant for the aristocracy.
You
I'm
could be
surprised you care what you think about me.
you could be more than that, you know.
Could I? No one else seems to think so, and you don't seem like a particularly trustworthy person.
My dear sir, I have not risen to the rank I have achieved in this organization by shortchanging my informants.
Ah. You want me to inform for you?
Inform seems like an ugly word. I merely wish you to share information for me, for which I shall offer you consideration.
What kind of information are you looking for? I see so much information in the process of my day.
Well, now I know who you wish to protect.
Do
Who would you?
you?
I believe you wish to protect the Count.
I merely wish the Count to have a chance to say goodbye to a friend who would not be able to say goodbye to once his family arrives.
That strikes me as a certain amount of rank sentimentality.
When one has only one employer who pays him, one becomes sentimental about continuing that paycheck.
Suppose that I could make this happen. Would you care to tell me why Leonid Ruslanovich is in such desperate concern over the Count? So that I can better protect him, of course.
Who are you trying to protect again?
I am trying to protect your friend.
Ah, yes. The one who has a certain hereditary association with the Romanov dynasty.
Well, that is your friend. And perhaps you can be my friend. Not on a personal level, but in a purely transactional nature. Certainly,
Yes,
certainly, Maxim Yegorovich, you are familiar with transactional love.
I am quite familiar with transactional love. After all, as you probably note, my friendship with the Count is because he pays me.
Hmm.
If you have complete files on me, you will note that I very rarely have friends who don't pay me.
Call it what you will. Well, think about it, but don't think too long, because in matters such as these, there's a certain momentum And the current of the great river, much like the Neva, when it starts to flow to sea, there's very little that can resist it. Good day, sir.
Do not doubt, officer, that I spend many, many hours thinking about what's important in life, and will judge these matters accordingly.
I would say that I would hate to see you on the dock as a traitor, but we both know that would be an utter lie. Your servant. And he turns and walks back to his desk. Okay, do we need anything else?
No, I go stand and smoke a cigarette until Misha comes to find me.
Okay, let's just call that a novel chapter. I'm really just a terrible person the last 2 sessions. All
This
kinds of
bad.
variety. Yeah, no
This-
kidding.
This bad. Did we do this? We did this.
I mean, I got resolve tokens from this dude, and he will arrest people if
Yeah.
it comes to that.
Yeah.
I will
shit.
send Max to Siberia. I will do it. This is how we know we're gonna have a tragedy. I don't know how we're gonna land this, but we'll figure something out.
This one, I have genuinely no idea where it's going. Like the other ones always have like some sort of like clear kind of like direction they're heading. This one is
Clear
just
when
like-
you're the person poisoning everybody.
Now, we've all agreed we're letting that one go.
It's been half a decade.
Guys, do you remember agreeing to that? I don't know if I agreed to that.
Yeah, I don't remember agreeing with that at all.
I don't remember.
That's
I
the- that's what
facilitated that. It was hygienic.
also that's the 3 resolve tokens were spent for that stuff. That's what they're for. They're
I thought our
negotiation
agreement was
tool.
to give Daryl a hard time for that for the rest of our lives.
No. I mean,
Listen, you
Look.
can only give me a hard time if I regret it. I do not
Yeah.
regret it. It
I
was
don't
worth
regret
it.
a
I
single
don't-
thing, but I'm going to give you a hard time about it forever.
I stand in awe of a criminal mastermind. I mean, hey, I made Daryl to play the infamous rain / razor scene. So
That's rough.
yeah. Let's see how deep we can take this whole love sex Calyx. Oh wow, okay. How deep? Anywho, that was novel. So reputation equals your fixation, and I think I both protected someone important to me and exposed myself to a text from a rival because same thing, killed the dude.
Wait,
Either have I offended or fracture are appropriate.
I mean, I think I hurt or embarrassed someone important to me. Oh. I took Svengali, which is a connection takes advantage of your innocence to further their own goals.
Oh my god, that I begin to see the way out, Serafina. Anton
Which way out
needs-
do you want? Because I've got a couple.
I was just thinking Anton needs to drop in on you.
That's a possibility. There's also the possibility that I'm about to drop in on Panya.
I am not a connection.
That's
But
fair.
I took Teflon, so connections now believe me.
Misha may not be the only person planning to drop in on Panya.
Yes. So I guess the question is, which one would people prefer? Have I offended? My actions are offensive to someone of importance, and they wish to make it known publicly, which would seem to definitely apply. Or fracture, someone close to you is appalled by behavior and refuses to talk to you. Or
I think have I offended?
yeah. Yeah, I guess, being hunted by the Tsarist police will do that.
And honestly,
If they know that I did it, though, because,
Right.
connections will believe me. I wasn't
Right.
there. But, Stepan Mikhailovich is a convicted revolutionary criminal.
So how many?
Well, I guess there's the
how-
question of whether Panya's going to stop in on me or I'm going to stop in on her, because I feel like we have to talk.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
go ahead.
How many check marks can we give? Because I feel like I hit 3.
One on each side, I think.
Okay, so then I will drop one of these, but that also means that I took a negative condition, which is betrayal. A close connection openly makes a fool of me, whether by spending my money, taking a lover, or leading a gossip campaign against me. None of those are super applicable, but a certain somebody did probably have enough ammunition to do some major damage to my reputation after a conversation with a loudmouth journalist.
I managed to get, after avoiding any sort of advancements, I managed to get both a negative and positive condition in one novel chapter. So I took virtuous and masochist because those go together in real life so well.
Yep. I mean, this feels appropriate. I feel like that gives you the direction you need to for your novel chapter. At least.
Look, most people on becoming mothers of teenagers become both virtuous and masochist overnight, as soon as you have more than one child over the age of 13.
I don't know what finding being threatened at gunpoint extremely hot applies to any of these.
Demonstrated real superiority.
I already checked that, sadly.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
possibly protected someone important to me.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, exposed or corrected a misunderstanding. Things got
Yeah.
exposed. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
things were exposed.
yeah, exposed. You know.
I'm not sure
just-
misunderstandings were what were exposed, though.
Well, I guess the misunderstanding
they
is
could be
like, oh
corrected.
wow.
That's true.
The
I guess the
misunderstanding was, we will not bang, and the correction was, and then we
Oh,
bang.
wait, we're banging.
Ergo, yeah, express gratification through that for sure. So that means I get a positive condition.
Bang, bang. She shot me down.
There might be a little Bill DNA in Prescott. Yeah. All right. People are sick.
He's
We
just not
should-
sick. He's a count.
I
I've read
didn't
too much.
say it out
I've read too
loud.
much Russian literature, man. I lived up to my threat. I'm currently reading What Is to Be Done, and it's interesting. It's not particularly great, but it is interesting. So very weird. I understand why it went over so well with the Revolutionary Generation. So I thought we should take a look at questions and secrets. I exposed my secret, so I grabbed my resolve token because I proved I'm here to kill the traitor, but by killing the traitor. I just thought we may want to review this. Some things don't seem important anymore. I guess that whatever Panya said on the way to Max on her way in is probably not super important at this point, but who knows?
We've revealed how Anton Yurievich has been tracking down those radicals.
That's fair. Let's see. What is Clara willing to do to win Panya's attention? Up to and including accessory after the fact, it's beginning to look like.
Yeah, like I'm sure, it'll be fine. She's rich. It'll be okay.
I think we did.
Is one of the secrets that Clara is the original disaster bisexual?
I don't think that's a secret, though, is the thing. I think she's very upfront about that.
Who will finally rat Ivan out to Panya? Now that's interesting. Do we want to figure out who that was? It's entirely possible that it was just Ivan, that Panya figured it out. On the other hand, if I had to pick someone, Clara or Victor would be my two best bets.
I mean,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah. Though
I mean,
I
Mhm.
as much as I admire Misha, Misha is not always the best judge of who to confide in.
I mean, it could just have been Clara saying, you know, Misha's trying to send Ivan out of the country or something.
yeah, that's enough to like connect the dots.
Or
for-
was it Leonia on finding out that Misha was trying to send Yvonne out of the country?
I you
Perhaps
know,
not intentionally, not even willfully.
I almost feel like it's better if it's Clara, and to what degree Clara knew exactly what she was doing, I will leave up to Leandro. Like,
Yeah,
was it Clara? Was it Clara just dropped something innocently and didn't realize it, or was Clara figured out that Ivan was being sent out of the country and like maybe I should tell Panya this?
she did seem like distinctly not completely surprised
Yeah, no.
that
I-
Tanya's showing up with blood on her face.
That's kind of why I was thinking that.
Yeah.
All right, we figured out where the traitor Ivan was hiding. I think we did figure out what Liana really told Max.
What did Leonia really tell Max?
And how could it destroy him? I mean, it was the whole thing with Oblonsky, the painter, and everything. Oh,
Right.
it was that Leonia had. Oh no, wait. I know that Tosha got Leonia out of a public indecency charge. I don't know if Max knows that. Besides, you know, highly advanced Russian stealth gaydar. We know how this happened. What is Clara willing to do to destroy Victor? I mean, she set Max on him, so it's pretty good.
It was
Mhm.
scary. The student journalist under my thumb.
Right.
That's my main weapon.
These are some pretty good questions here. What will Misha do now that his innocence is shattered? What will Misha do when it is revealed that Leonia has fed Pasha to the secret police? How far will Leonia go to protect Misha?
Yeah, Misha's about to have a really weird couple of days.
Yep. Okay. Do we feel we got all the questions? My questions are all existential about Panya at this point. It's like, I have no idea if she's going to make it out. She is slippery, but probably I'm going to die. I'm okay with that. Panya is a death engine. Not the first one I've built in these games.
The wildest one so far, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun with her. What if a smirk took human form and became a revolutionary?
There we go. That was a successful experiment. No, I just had like thought of like a question like, will Clara win? Because it's so an existential question.
My dear friends in Russian society, nobody wins.
I don't know.
As soon as Richard and I were not especially friendly in this game, we knew we were on the tragic course. So
I don't know. The last time I played an evil lady, she won very handily.
That's true.
He was the only one who was standing tall by the end of all that. Not poor, dear sweet Ksenia.
Yeah, Ksenia took all our measures that night.
Look, Tolia won in the most Chekhovian way possible by just being sad and getting his friends to go on vacation with him. Just a preview of modernism right there.
Oh my god, who will Max shoot? Now Max has to shoot someone.
He already has a gun. He bought a gun last episode.
That's right. Now we got 3 guns in the game. It's
Yeah,
gonna
we got
be
at
a
least 3.
three-way standoff. All of a sudden, we're just going to transition to the good, the bad, and the ugly.
What do you mean transition? Dostoevsky was the original The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay, this is fair. That is basically the description of the brothers Karamazov.
Right. There's no one pretty. They're just the good ugly, the bad ugly, and the ugly ugly.
Alyosha is good. I'd say Vanya is bad, and Mitya. Well, he's not ugly on the outside, but
No,
he's a
no, that's
mess
true.
on the inside.
Yeah.
He is a mess. He is an ugly cry mess.
At this point, it would just be too on the nose for Mox to shoot his landlady, and he doesn't really have a motive for that either way.
So,
And that's supposed to happen at the first third of the novel, not the last few minutes.
yeah, no, it's tradition. You got to kill her with an axe much
Yeah.
earlier.
You can't shoot your landlady. You have to kill your
I
landlady
mean,
with an axe.
Raskolnikov never hurts his landlady, except for the whole he was going to marry her daughter and then she died. And yeah, and being a completely unexamined idiot, Raskolnikov never ponders like, gee, maybe I fell into a suicidal depression because of this. No, it must be because I'm a great man. Okay, so let's write some letters, I guess, because it's 19th century Russia.
For a few more years.
Well, no, a good chunk more years, about 45 at this point. So we're doing okay. When we get to when we get to Zhivago Society, then we will finally have to say, I guess it's 20th century Russia. So we write telegrams. We write telegrams. I have no idea how I'm gonna make that one work, but we'll figure something out.
Look, eventually the telegram poles come down.
Yes, they use them to hang people off of. Hello. Anybody got a letter?
I've
Ready?
got one.
Oh, good.
Right off the bat. I got you. Sadistic extrovert vibes. It is just a folded note. It appears in your house in your apartment without you sort of noticing anyone coming or going. And it says in a very familiar scrawl, P, I am with you, F. For those playing at home, just because that was deliberately obtuse, it's Phaedra writing to Panya, just in case anybody's watching this and it's like, who are they talking about?
All right. Here's the big one. The bomb's coming. Okay. So and feel free to let me know if I need to spend a resolve token for this because it's more than just a letter. And in fact, what happens is Clara, bright and early one morning, that you hear the door ring and someone is here to deliver not just a letter, but there is a very stern looking young woman there, and hiding behind her skirts is the daughter that you just recently met. And when you show them in, the very stern, very smug looking maid, who is very clearly will not be removed no matter what you try to say, hands you a very hefty packet. And in this very hefty packet are dozens of letters. And they're divided into two broad piles. And the first set of letters, look as though they have been written in your own hand. And they reveal all sorts of things. They reveal letters to Vladislav Rostov, where you are attempting to sell state secrets. They are letters to Paulina Kalvayova for stealing charitable funds. They are letters to Rodion Trifonov about secret agreements with foreign governments. And they all look like they're in your hand. And then there's another one, which is a whole roster of people you used to know who are saying, basically to the affirmative, yes, of course, I'll keep an eye out for her in Spain, in Italy, in Egypt, in Turkey. All sorts of people, friends new and old, who you thought had long been buried, who are very happy to keep an eye out for you if you ever abscond from Russia. And then at the very bottom of the list is just, one very brief missive. And it says, the season has come. Congrats, you have a daughter now.
That's all I ever wanted. Yeah. Wow, this sure is a crop that Kara's raped. I mean, I mean, if anyone's watching this, that would ask how tight you should make this. I did say as tight as you can. So cool. Huh. Cool. Let me think about anything after that.
And the traditional last episode breaking of Leandro has commenced. From Praskovia Pavlovna to Fyodor Vadimovich. Fedya, I did not need your note to tell me that. But now I must ask that your mettle be proved. I must rapidly leave this place in as covert a manner as possible, with an ultimate destination of Geneva. I want you to come with me. Come with me and Clara Georgievna and her daughter. It means I am asking you to go into exile with me. It means that I am asking you to share quite a bit of me. I believe you to be true. I know you will not tell anybody what is inside this letter. I will understand if you can't, but if you can, then leave a note for me at this tavern. I will know more about my plans soon. As always, enamored, Pasha.
Oh yeah, Darren, you will have to pay a token for that bomb. I forgot to mention that.
Luckily, Victor has 2. So one is yours.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
To the Count Katavasov. Sir, I know it is not traditional to receive a letter from your gardener. But you should know, I think you can feel the silence between the first and second paragraph. But you should know I do not believe, and then there's a bunch of crossing out, I do not believe that Leonid Ruslanovich is genuinely concerned for your own welfare, nor that he has your own best interest at heart. You will want to know evidence, and I am short on it right now. But I know, or at least strongly suspect, that you are being carefully watched. I cannot say why, because I have long assumed you were just another very congenial aristocratic dilettante. But apparently I was quite wrong. I have strong suspicions on who killed Oblonsky. I have more suspicions on who knew. And I have even more suspicions on who benefits. I trust your instincts and intuition. So if you see no merit in this, I will abide by your judgment, but please know I will be leaving your employment on fill-in date at appropriate point shortly in the future, but not so shortly in the future that and have brought 2 train tickets to Krakow. I would like to speak to you before then. in private. But again, sir, I trust your judgment completely.
Great, cool. I have a letter. Really, it's 2 identical letters going to 2 very different people. And it says 10 p.m. Greenman's Pub. Come alone. And it is written to Max and to Panya.
Are they both from Misha, just for clarification?
Yep, they're both from Misha.
Okay.
Now seems like a great time for my second letter. So, and I must state that this has been delivered to you after you have sent your other letters. Misha, burn this upon reading. The death of your friend has sparked something, and the police will be moving in a matter of hours. It is imperative that you get out of the city before nightfall. Do not ask any questions. Do not attempt to intervene in any way. Please just get away and guarantee your safety. I hope to find you sometime soon, maybe in a fortnight or 2. Stay safe. Leonia.
A short note to Viktor Konstanovich Kalganov from Praskovia Pavlovna. Viktor Konstanovich, the action for which I came to the city has been successfully completed. The situation is now unfavorable for all our activities. It may come to light. Well, many things may come to light. I know that in the spirit of comradeliness, you will not be displeased if forced to accept the mantle of martyr for our cause. For after all, to die lonely and forgotten does not befit a man of such stature. And she just signs it with her code name. You have no idea how many people I'm going to bring down if I can. Everybody's going down.
Why do I get the feeling this is the first finale where people are going to be really using those resolve tokens?
It's taken us 5 years.
This is a unmarked envelope on top of Clara's correspondence for the day, or all the incoming correspondence to Clara has an unmarked envelope on top of it. Inside of it is the classic 19th century anonymous letter in which almost everything is newspaper headlines that are clipped to pieces to form the letter, except for the word Oblonsky. And it is solely Clara. Oblonsky never hurt you.
All this reaping, Jesus. What the hell did Clara do? Okay. Speaking of, Clara is gonna respond to all of these shenanigans like any level-headed citizen would do, and write to the police. Specifically, she will write to her good friend Anton Yurevich Kamenov. Dear Tosha, wow, I've not had much reason to write to you in recent times because I like to think that our conversations, though infrequent, are nourishing in their own right. But I'm writing to you in the position of a distressed citizen. Um, in recent times, certain individuals have seen fit to target myself, my standing, and my person through means of conspiracy and intimidation. Um, I, for quite some time, I've been reticent to share that I have had associations with certain radical movements, and I will admit to such associations, but I think you have the measure of my character to know where I would truly stand, and quite frankly, these movements have perhaps mutated into something quite unbecoming, especially for what they're intending to do to me. I have evidence aplenty of intimidation made to me by one Viktor Konstantinovich Kalganov. In fact, he has threatened a wide-ranging conspiracy against myself that is set to pursue me from one end of the world to another. And I thought perhaps to employ the more genteel manner of perhaps smearing his character, but he has proven persistent and intends to rue me for slights imagined or otherwise. It is gauche to ask for a favor for yourself, but I do believe we are lockstep in that this is an abdication of all that is good and just in Russia, and I hope that I'll at least find some peace and respite from all this, knowing that that I can count on a friend such as yourself. If we need to talk to clarify more details, you need only say so when, and I will endeavor to stop by and furnish you with as much evidence as possible. Yours sincerely, Klara, your Georgievna Sonovskaya.
I believe we've all done too.
I think I have one more.
Ah.
I was just
Oh, please. Continue the sewing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if I have any idea for a second letter. I'm just double checking from Pavel Olegovich, Leonid's superior. I think it's just like a simple note or I guess a memo, saying, Sergeant Ruslanovic or whatever your title is. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. It's something along the lines of not to mess up all some of your plans, but I think it's just a command saying, Lieutenant Commander Ruslanovic, it's been reported to me that you've had some dealings with Count Mikhail Grigorievich Karamvasov, who has been of some interest. I'll pay a token for this, for him to know this. He's part of the secret police. He could have been in the background. Nobody noticed.
I do just want to volunteer that I was actually reporting to Lenski about the Count. I bet I lied to the Count or to Lenski, and I said that no, the Count's totally on the level. His friends not so much, but the Count, yeah, no, greatest guy I ever met.
Okay, yeah, I think I think I'll modify that then. To say, Lieutenant Ruslanovic, I have great faith in your abilities, and while I do believe that I do for the moment believe your report on Count Mikhail Grigorievich, all this noise with this murder of Oblansky has put quite a number of his connections under some interest. And will you at least for the moment ensure that the Count is um, surveilled and and will not be making any attempts to leave the country anytime soon for the moment, of course. As soon as all this noise clears up, I'm sure he understands if he is as innocent as you have declared. Um, and yours, Lieutenant Pavel Olegovich. So just keep an eye on him. It's fine. Just make sure he doesn't leave. It's okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night. Where shall we begin? Misha's little tete-a-tete? Tete-a-tete pour deux?
Yeah, this is gonna go great. It's just gonna be 5 bodies. I'll start wherever. It's fine. I'm fucked anyway.
Okay.
In the tavern to which you called us, do you have a private dining area, or is this the public room?
Oh no, yeah, no, dude, it's a private room. When you get there, you would be referred upstairs to one of the like
Closed dining rooms.
Yeah. Leonia. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going. I love him very much, but I also have a feeling I'm not going to be able to leave the country for some reason. I'm going to try and make it to you. I've got a resolve token. We're going to see how this goes.
I too have a resolve token or
We're
4.
all fucked.
Token.
We're all fucked.
It's 1864 in Russia. We all have resolve tokens.
Never in the history of this game have we used them.
Tonight may be different.
We've been bitching about the fact that
Every game we've ended, the Tsar has taken all our unused resolve tokens.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yep. So do you both show up? Do you both come alone? What's the plan here?
Oh, I show up and come alone. I have complete trust in Misha.
I show up fairly disguised and I look like I'm alone.
Great. It's gonna go very, very well. So you both get seen into the room. Do you both arrive at the same time, do you think? Or do you
I think
want to
for
do one at a time arrival?
I
think
think for
Max gets
maximum
there first.
awkwardness, both of us should plan to be like whatever scheme both of us use to try to get there unobserved is parallel to the other person's scheme to get there unobserved.
I think Max, you'd go into the room ahead of Panya. Even if they both arrived at the same time, she needs to make a dramatic entrance.
Yeah, I mean, she's for sure going for that,
I claim my sociopath privilege.
that tracks. Yes.
So if you want to just say hi.
This is not where I want to throw down the resolve token. So yes, you get to do that.
Sure. Yeah, you can do
Yeah. I come in demonstratively worried about Misha and your own, you know.
Yeah. He's he's also arrived in disguise, much to his credit, in a way that you wouldn't have expected that he would be this good at it, but he's clearly got more skills than people give him credit for.
Weirdly,
Um,
even though I've seen your costume cabinet, I thought most of it was there for, you know, fun.
Turns out most of it was there because I'm actually good at this. Max. Brandy?
Count Kadavesov.
Please call me Misha at this point.
I think I should only take tea.
As you wish. And like a few moments later, a servant arrives with some tea. I regret that you become involved in all this.
As soon as you say the word regret, he freezes.
It's not how I would have had things play out. But as is so often the case, I am not necessarily the architect of all things.
You know that I'm sorry for your loss, but I want to say it again. How much the loss. He was a far better artist than our society could ever appreciate.
He was a good man. I feel like I was too hopeful that he would be able to make the choices that he did and still survive.
We all have many choices to make. As Panya slips into the door. Please, gentlemen, let's not stand on ceremony. Remain seated. She has her hands jammed in the pocket.
I have not sat down since entering. I've
Misha isn't sitting either. He's sort of standing over by the brandy. He pours you a glass and holds it out to you.
She takes it with her left hand, keeping her right hand in her pocket, in this pocket of her skirt.
Max immediately upon Panya entering, looks like a cornered deer, or no, like a cornered, like a tough herbivore cornered, like you've cornered like a mean rat.
Yeah. Misha glances at your hands and then looks you in the face and says, "So are you going to shoot me?"
Why would you possibly think that, Misha? I'm offended. I also thought that we would be alone. You told me to come alone, but I did not know that you were having a guest.
Oh,
I was
told
also told to come alone. I am sorry, Count. I did not understand who else would be here.
That's all right.
Why, Misha? That's almost double dealing. I don't know if I should be saddened or impressed.
I'm going to do us all the favor of skipping all the pleasantries. You killed Oblonsky.
You know?
I understand why you did it.
If such a thing were to have happened, Oblonsky was a traitor.
Oblonsky...
He caused the death and capture of many of my comrades. I am not saddened that Oblonsky is dead, no.
No. Panya, when I met you, I really believed, in revolutionary ideals, in making a better world. And then the more I got to know, the more I realized that your ideals only favor everyone who exactly agrees with you.
Misha, you grew disenchanted when you realized that you would not be able to have a revolution by sitting in your billiards room. I am so very sorry that you find the prospect of blood unsettling. Are you not familiar with what the police do every day to my comrades? Your own friend Stepan Mikhailovich spent 10 years in Siberia. I risk the same every moment I wake up. What
I'm
do you
aware.
think, Count? Misha, I love you quite dearly, but I love you despite the fact that you do not know anything of life. In a way, I feel comforted by it, that there are people who can be allowed to be innocent to such an advanced age. It is more or less what I wish to come to pass here. It is not something I will live to see, but
Well, that remains to be seen. I called you both here because I care about you and because I think that some terrible things are about to happen, and I would like to help prevent them. I'm offering you the last shreds of power and influence that I have in this cursed fucking city. I'm offering to get you out.
it's not that I don't appreciate the gesture, but I am not sure it can be trusted. You understand?
When have I ever done anything that even remotely smelled of betrayal?
You start fucking that cop. And she uses the rich panoply of Russian slang for that one.
Well,
On the contrary, I trust your intentions completely. But you have a lot to lose, and I have nothing.
I've already lost everything that I'm going to lose.
Well said, comrade. She nods at Max.
You can take me up on it or not.
What is your plan?
I have a boat. I have men. I have a way to said boat. And enough loaded upon it that wherever we go, I can give you some amount to go wherever your final destination might be.
Well, Max.
Will you be coming with us?
Well, I don't think I can stay.
They tend not to need Russian journalists in Germany, Switzerland, France, Great Britain, or Italy.
Herzen did well in London. Perhaps you could do as well as Alexander Herzen.
I can't promise you prosperity. I can only promise that if we escape, you will not die in Siberia.
I would be the world's worst valet.
That's all right. I'm going to be the world's worst common man.
Well,
Honestly, Max, I would think that a Russian journalist by now, you'd be used to being a valet for the nobility.
sir, if you have a plan, I am at your service. I said, sir, not Siri. Please stop pimming on phone.
No, I'm at yours is rather the point, but then if you come with me, we would leave from here.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Do I have time to fetch my belongings?
I honestly don't know.
Very well. I didn't like any of them anyway.
I liked a fair bit of mine, but nevertheless.
It is, after all, your boat.
Well, in fairness, it is my carriage and then my boat.
Do I have time to say goodbye to my landlady, Panya's lover?
Jealous much?
Not at all.
It might be better if you do that by letter, but again, I can't force you.
I
We either
have
leave tonight or we leave.
my own wisdom, and so I will defer to yours.
I can wait here for a few hours.
Just let me know where you'd like to meet. I will either come or I won't. That will be either because I have decided it is not a good plan or because I am arrested or dead.
I'll be here.
To that extent, I will ask you when you'd plan to depart, and
5.
will not ask you to wait past that point.
Be here at 5 in the morning. It is both very soon and far too long to wait.
You will understand, Count Kedavasov, that I had hoped to rescue you.
I know.
That was absurdly presumptuous of me, I am aware.
Well,
But my entire career has been built on absurd presumption.
I think that everyone thinks that I am weaker than I seem. So I forgive you the assumption.
I have long mistaken kindness for someone in need of guidance.
Oh, believe me, I am still in need of guidance, but I can at least do certain things very well. Otherwise, how would I have managed to fund revolutionaries and purchase politicians and...
Yes, gentlemen, perhaps we should place a stopper on the treasonous talk and depart and resume this conversation at sea.
Before Panya leaves the room, Misha does grab hold of her arm and say, I would prefer if we can manage to escape the city without you murdering anyone else we care about.
You know, Misha, do you know what I have that I didn't think I would have?
What's that?
I have bad dreams, Misha.
About what?
What do you think? I haven't slept more than 2 hours since it happened. But I won't be taken alive either.
He
Nor
looks like
betrayed.
he looks deep into your eyes and says, I thought for a long time about what I would do if you went through with it. And then I realized that God has a way of making us pay for our sins better than any person could. I'll either see you or I won't.
I'll either see you or I won't. And she slips right out the door again. As she walks out, she looks at this person sitting slumped over a chair, like, all right, Anya, it's okay now.
Yeah. I think Misha knew that he wasn't going to be able to kill you.
All right, what horrifying thing are we going to set up now? Oh, Daryl.
I mean, I can very easily think of why don't we just get all the cops together?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Cause like, let's be real, like,
I feel like
Misha's
Howard
pretty capable.
definitely has a lot to add to this conversation too. All the public records and many of unofficial public records.
I'm definitely going to want a one-on-one between Tosha and Leonia. I just don't know if it needs to be before or after. we bring all the evidence to the chief.
Yeah, I feel like after, because like do it that way, because then yeah, just hang the sword of Damocles right over my head.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I guess we meet as we're about to go in the office. Like, so, who is it that we're going after first?
So out of character, how much do we actually want to know about? Like, I'm fully prepared to be like, we're gonna try to seize them at the docks. Like, just like we know that some revolutionaries are gonna flee out to sea in the morning, and that we plan to intercept them.
How about we do it like this? We're sitting in Pavlensky's office, and Tosha is reading off a piece of paper. Like, also, the Count has asked for his yacht to be made ready tonight, despite the fact that it's very late in the season to be sailing the Gulf of Finland unless you're a Norwegian icebreaker. I think this smells of something. We should definitely keep a party of men at the dock.
Yeah, I think Pavel which has been kind of like just been sitting, listening to all this, nodding. Oh, go ahead, Misha.
Just a quick thing. Misha's not that stupid. I would like to spend a resolve token for Misha not being that stupid.
Well, I mean, you have to make the boat ready. It's not like
A boat, but not his boat.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I'm like, I just made him competent for the first time in this whole story.
Yeah, well, we can't let that stand.
We can't immediately be like, I don't know, his bright yellow Beamer is just driving around the city.
How about this? Our man has been following the Count around all day. I know that my colleague, Officer Markov, thinks that is fruitless, but he has had several meetings with various people, including people down at the docks. Leonio, you know him better than I do. Perhaps you know.
May I suggest that this is a great opportunity for Gosha to kind of throw a favor to Leonia?
Yeah.
Because Gosha has access to all these records as long as Leonia helps.
Yeah, I'm down.
If that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could follow this with a hallway we could follow the meeting in the office with a hallway conversation between Gosha and Leonia.
Yeah, if Gosha can think of some solution to like downplay the thing, or
I think it's if Leonia will admit to knowing more about Misha than he might be willing to admit. Otherwise, Gosha can find records of the Count's acquaintances, but he'll probably need something that would be embarrassing to admit in front of everyone else. I can't think of what that is on the top of my head.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
Actually, we can be having a fight at this point because Anton's like, I think we should continue to keep a man on the Count.
Keeping on the man on the Count when we have other leads that are more closely tied to the murder is ridiculous. And I have exactly what I will reveal. I'll out the Count. Emphasis on that one for the cover.
Madame Sosnovskaya is not going anywhere. She sent me a letter implicating this Viktor Kalganov, who's apparently back in the country.
I would like to point out that the Count's personal yacht is in dry dock for repair to its hull.
And what is so suspicious about a man of the Count's stature gallivanting around town taking private meetings? Isn't that what the nobility does? Why are we continuing to investigate someone who has at most shown themselves to be rather an inept pretty boy of anything?
It just doesn't feel right to me, Leonid Ruslanovich.
We are not here to discuss your feelings, Anton Yurjevich. We are here to discuss the facts of the case. And the facts of the case are that this Praskovia Pavlovna Semyonova has, under multiple circumstances, been observed going to the houses of revolutionaries, has been observed interacting with people across multiple different, on multiple different watch lists, and has even been seen in the company of people at the same salon as the man who was murdered.
I understand that. I have spoken to Madame Sosnovskaya, and she has assured me that Praskovia Pavlovna has nothing to do with any of these activities. Her passport
Is
was
Madame
clean.
Sosnovskaya? Is Madame Sosnovskaya now a police accredited profiler? Are we really to take the
Is Count Katavasov?
I am not asking the Count Katavasov to profile or state anything to the contrary other than what he is.
Clara Georgievna has been nothing but cooperative with the police in their inquiries, and you
Oh,
have insisted that we not even question Count Katavasov.
I am sorry to speak out of turn, but wouldn't the Count, if he were going to leave the country, be making more explicit preparations?
It depends. What's your opinion of his intelligence?
I would defer to. I would
it has been my responsibility to shadow the Count for a number of months at this point, of which I have given detailed reports. I have written about his comings, his goings, his proclivities, his peccadillos, all of these things. One of the people that we have seen here before is also known to be a well-known proprietor of a house of ill repute. What is to say that he was making arrangements to flee the country when he may have just been arranging for an illicit night out?
Wouldn't it be more to the point to spend less time following the Count at this point and more time monitoring the points of exit he has? His coach yard, the train stations, and I have established that his boat is in dry dock, and hand you the file showing that his boat has been entered into dry dock. Train and carriage seem much more likely to be what he is planning to use to exit.
Igor Gennadovich, we appreciate you coming forward and helping with this investigation. But I am not certain that you have the requisite talents in this matter.
Anton Yurjevich, I have provided documentation and not just feelings and instincts and intuitions for my assumptions. What are you presenting?
I would like at this point, I don't know if it's possible to do this, but I've never actually used one of my powers per se, but I do have condemnation, which is my criticisms and rebukes hold particular weight, and unless it conflicts with their objectives, connections will take my side. And so at this point, I will very loudly, explicitly slam down a stack of papers on the desk and say, Anton Yurjevich, I must ask that you desist from questioning everyone and anyone just to pursue your personal vendettas against people. And then I say specifically, Igor Gennadovich has been utilized numerous times across multiple investigations, and his findings have always proved sound. You are here, and you are now wasting Lieutenant Lenski's time to pursue some personal agenda of your own. You have used socialites and people about town to try to justify your opinions, and this must stop.
Just for the record, Gosha is carefully holding all the folders of evidence he has, but there is one at the bottom of the stack that he has not opened. This is, I'm sure, an audience-only view.
Yeah.
There's one very specific stack of evidence that he has not referred to or opened that he has with him.
And I'm okay with all this. Just reminder that Panya also has Teflon, so connections won't believe she's doing anything wrong either. Very well.
Amazing.
I concede the point, Leonia. Very well. We're wasting our time with the Count. I don't think we have anything on Praskovia Pavlovna, even if she is a revolutionary. Perhaps we'll get lucky and she'll throw a bomb into a hay cart or something. So now we have next to nothing.
We have more than enough information to go off of. The Zakharov connection is still very clear. We have the ability to stake out Yashvin, who has been seen cavorting with a number of revolutionaries.
Honestly, if you're going to point a finger at anyone, I would point it at Yashvin.
Yashvin. No, that's the Daryl evil.
He's a radical journalist. He's been observed visiting Stepan Mikhailovich. He's a known associate of...
He's also virtuous.
Oh, well, that's the biggest tell of all.
Characters will disbelieve any negative rumor about you unless, and also masochist. He's too nice to be useful to anyone.
Well then, perhaps Ivan Yablonsky ran afoul of some gamblers. I don't know. Maybe we're seeing a political connection where there is none.
There's also this Kalganov rumor.
Gentlemen, I think I've heard quite enough. I think Pavel which stands up. We can talk in circles about what is to be done. And I see the passions are aflame. So aflame that I believe we are losing sight of what it is that we are here to do. How is it that we have let our city be infested with such noise? And yet, we don't know where all this noise is coming from. Well, then we'll start with... Sorry, they're saying this much more clearly. I lost track of what I was going to say. At the very least, we should endeavor to stop talking and start somewhere. This Clara Georgievna Solovskaya. You say, Anton Yurevich, that she is willing to give up this Viktor Konstantinovich in a silver platter to us. Do you really think that is the extent of her knowledge of anything that's going on? I see here, and I think he points at the evidence file. Is this not a recorded meeting with this Praskovia Pavlovna, of whom we've expended enough air? Is this not a meeting with Count Mikhail Grigorovich, of which we expounded, looks at Leonia, quite a bit of air? Points at another one. Does she not have this Maxim Igorovich Yashvin in her debt? If every single one of those can be discounted, and it seems that a lot of you are impassioned in discounting them, well, let's start with her. Bring her in.
Excellent idea, Chief. Leonia, if I might have a word with you outside for a moment.
I will certainly wait, because I have a matter of records to discuss with you, sir.
Yes.
Of course.
Please go wait.
I will wait for you in your office, sir. I say to Leonia.
Thank you, Gosha. I will talk with you soon.
Of course.
Yes, Anton, what is it?
We're nicely alone in a hallway. You know, Leonia, when I saved your bacon less than a year ago, how time does fly. I just thought that you would be more willing to play.
Willing to play, Anton? Have I not been filing your paperwork for 365 days? Am I not the one picking up after your messes, making sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted?
I appreciate all that, and you know what? I have wronged you in that. We should work together more. I think you are an excellent officer. There's no reason why you shouldn't be promoted, and I don't hold anything you may feel about this count. You're hardly you're hardly the first man who's allowed the nobility to fuck him to get ahead. But Leonia, you don't get to fuck me. Understand? You want to let this count off for your own reasons. Fine. But stop embarrassing me in front of the chief.
Then stop making it so easy, Anton. Listen,
You are
I am
so-
just as I am just as invested in finding someone to pin this on as you are. And I think that there are more people out there who are willing to do it than some dilettante, regardless of whatever that dilettante does in his spare time. Or mine.
Pinning it on Sauce in the Sky will be difficult. If we could get this Calgon off, he would seem to fit better than anyone. Of course, not knowing that he's an invalid.
So, will you, Anton, make it clear to me, how is it that you hold this Clara Georgievna in such high regard? I understand that she is, by all accounts, a beautiful woman, and I know that your weakness is for beautiful women, but I find it interesting that you trust her opinion above that of others within the Force.
Oh, she's been a bit of a patron of mine, but I'll put it to you bluntly. We can hang female revolutionaries, they're a dime a dozen. No one will care. There'll be a moment of shock. But we put Viktor Kalganov in front of a firing squad. That's something that you can hang your career on. That's something that earns you an order, a promotion, and a note from the Tsar.
Fine. Well, then let's look into it. Clara Georgievna is known to me as well, and I can tap on some other people whom I know, who I may be able to find something on.
I'm sure she'll understand that answering our questions is in the best interest of her, the Empire, peace, prosperity, order, blah, blah, blah. Come on, Leonia, you and I were not so different. You're a good officer. You deserve to be promoted. I'm willing to hold your cape on this. You deserve it. And I assume that you will return the favor one day.
Leonia looks at you very contemplatively for a second, like, and like this whole like deal with the devil thing is going on like very clearly in his face, but eventually he just holds out a hand.
He shakes it. Good. Then it's settled. I will go and fetch Clara Georgievna.
I shall prepare the room.
I
And
will
then,
slither off, leaving a tray of this that I'm nothing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. At this point, like, big exhale, slumps down a little bit, like pinches nose, and then goes back to his own office where he's there to meet Gosha.
Leonia, I apologize. Kamenev makes me short-tempered.
Kamenev makes everyone short-tempered. It's his single defining quality. I apologize to you for the insult that he threw at your feet in front of our superior. I hope that you understand that not everyone here in the Force sees you so poorly.
It would not be the first time he's randomly insulted anyone. I presumed, due to my connections to the Katavasovs and Misha, I have a token for you. If this is okay, let me know if you want to limit anything. I have the names of several old Kadavasov family members, and he hands you the bottom folder that he had not referred to. That have private transportation arrangements. They can make yachts, ships, carriages, private train cars.
Leonia goes through the paperwork, throws it
It
down
was,
on the
of
table.
course, far too preliminary to present to the lieutenant or to. Then he rolls his eyes in the direction of the hallway, or anyone else. But I thought an officer such as yourself would be able to place this at good use.
Leonia kind of slumps over the desk and looks up at you and says, Igor, do you think he's going to run? I do not want to believe he is going to run, but every single instinct I have as a police officer and as a man says that he will run.
If he is as clever as Kadavasovs have a reputation for being, and here he sort of extends his neck and sort of broadens out his shoulders since he is a natural relation of the Kadavasovs. Then he will run sooner rather than later. You are subtle, my dear friend. But eventually they will always see you coming. Of course, I gathered these records completely unofficially.
Of course. Igor, is there one more record that you can transport unofficially?
Of course.
And I take this a moment and I pull out a piece of paper and I scrawl just a message and it says, do not go to the docks. And I slide it across to you and I say, make sure it gets in the right hands.
I will do everything I know how to do unofficially.
If there is any way to stop him, Igor, do it. Tie him up, throw him in the basement, whatever it is. Just make
I
sure
will
he doesn't
certainly-
do anything stupid.
But do not become too attached to those whom it is your job to work against. I tap you with the rest of my evidence folders. I, of course, have filing because it is my job and I work with idiots who cannot do it.
I know that too well. I think that sounds like a good wrap up.
So I wanna put a code on that, and Anton has a resolve token for this. As Igor goes walking out the front of the police station, the camera pulls back to see Anton sitting in an alley, and he just swings out to follow Igor, and you can see he's got a sap in one hand. I just
You
don't know
do-
who to give that resolve token to.
Yeah, you can give it to Gosha because Gosha's I think said his last bit.
I think it should go to one of the mains. I think it's either I can't
Yeah.
decide if it's Leonia or Misha.
It should
feel
be
like it should
Leonia,
go
'cause it's my
to-
plot that gets stopped.
That's true. There you
That's
go.
true. That's true.
Okay. So very clearly we need to get to the this night. I don't know if it's all at the docks or how we're gonna do this, but what I am pretty sure is that Claire has given up somebody but I don't know who. And I don't know if she's only giving up one person. That's what I think, but I'm going to defer to Leandro.
Yeah, why not double count? I think Clara is ready to give up anything and anyone to save her own skin.
I think we can leave whether it's one, both, or neither up in the
Yeah.
air, but
I think we get a shot of like Clara's been escorted to the police station and she meets with Pavel. I keep forgetting his second name. Pavel, his
oh.
Patronik, Olegovic.
Olegovich, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have to talk to myself then.
Yeah. No, I think it's like it's very courtly. She's being led into the room, but she's like pale and white.
Yeah, she's in desperation mode after those letters. So, yeah.
Okay. So it feels like the scene is definitely going to be at the docks for at least part of this, but maybe for both parts. So I'm feeling a Leonia Misha thing, and I am feeling a Tanya Clara thing, and I want to know where Max is in all this. Is he with Misha?
Max is, I feel like, going into older brother mode for Misha.
Okay. So
Does Panya come back to the bar?
I think we were going to meet
Ooh.
at the. Also, we were going to meet at the box.
No, you were
Yeah,
going to meet back at the bar at 5 a.m. That was what I said.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I don't think she's coming back to the bar. That doesn't mean she's not coming to the docks.
That's
It's not like
fine.
she can't get people to follow you.
That's fine. So what do we want to do first?
I think it's the docks, isn't it? I think we've got to see Leonia, Misha, and Max in this horrifying moment.
I got the note. I'm not. Did I get the note?
No.
I didn't get the note. Okay.
No, you didn't get the
No, Anton beat the hell out of Gosha and took the note and is using it as evidence.
Great. Cool. Then I guess does Leonia catch us somewhere on our way there?
Is Leonia watching the docks to make sure you don't show up?
Of course he is.
So does he snag us on our way?
I think so. Like, how are you? Are you getting there on foot? Are you like trying
on
to sneak
foot.
in? Okay, yeah.
On foot, yeah.
Yeah. So I think then that like you're like creeping down the street, and then like, you're probably like whispering, and I think I like step up behind you, and I just say, "I told you to stay out of this."
And he like spins around. Stay out of what?
This mess, everything here. I told you to stay away from everyone here.
To get out of the city.
And this is how you're choosing to do it, the most ostentatious way possible?
I'm not using my boat. I'm using someone else's boat. I'm not stupid.
The police followed you to the dock.
A member of the police force followed you to the dock.
And you're here with him.
Well, of course I am. He's my friend.
You could have escaped on your own. The plausible deniability would have been better.
Well, I apologize for not thinking like a police officer.
You need to go back. You need to go home. If you go home now, they'll put you under surveillance, but they won't find anything.
Can Max come?
If he must. Or if he go back to his landlady, who's also at the police right now.
Clara?
What does she have to tell the police? Which of her numerous schemes and plots is she going to reveal to the police right now? What's most convenient for the police to believe?
Well, it could be something to do with Stepan Mikhailovich, or it could be something to do with Viktor Konstantinovich. It could be something to do with any of the various associates that you have. Max, your name came up too.
Yeah, she
Try
knows
it.
more than I would like her to know.
I am too much of a naive fool for anyone to believe anything about me.
There's only so long that reputation, there's only so far that reputation will get you, Max. Eventually, people will start to put two and two together. You are both making a dire mistake. They are watching the docks. They will find you.
Who
You
is
must go
they?
back. The secret police.
Ah, the secret police. But we have a very public police member here telling us to go home.
I don't see any reason to not believe him, Max. He's risking everything by being in this alleyway with us.
Have I, of course, not told you secrets before, Max? Things that you shouldn't have known. And here I am saying it freely this time, not telling you to shut up, not telling you to do anything except get out before they catch you.
I'm inclined to listen to him, Max.
And what do you get out of it if we go home?
I would think that someone such as yourself would not be so nearsighted to not see what stake I have here.
Misha makes it very obvious by reaching over and taking Leonia's hand.
Oh, look at this. I still have a lot of resolve tokens for Anton.
That's tough.
At that moment, the light of a bullseye lantern swings into the alley.
Oh no.
Ah, Markov, good. You found them. Wait here, boys. And there's a couple of very tough-looking cops who just push themselves at the alley.
Can I spend a resolve token?
Oh, absolutely, please.
To make it to where it's just Anton, that he's pulling some heroes bullshit because
Okay, sure.
he's like,
Yeah, I like that. That's much better.
okay.
Okay, so it's after we leave.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
No, I think he's definitely caught us, and probably, and
Yeah.
of course, seen the hand holding.
Yeah.
Good news, Markov. We caught Kalganov. Sosnskaya gave him up. Well, she gave us enough to find him. It wasn't that hard. He didn't really put up much of a fight. Of course, the thing is, well, he confessed to the murder of Oblonsky. The man is in no physical condition to do anything more strenuous than hold up a book. It's a problem. It's a serious problem. We're going to need more.
Do revolvers weigh much more than books?
He pulls out his. No, I guess not.
Anton, I thought we had made an agreement. I thought that in
We have. I'm just in a bad position here. I mean, that note was very, very bad form, but I wish to honor our agreement. So, Count, with all due respect, you stink to high heaven about this. This looks very bad for you. But Leonia's probably right. You should probably just go home. And get used to people watching you. I guess that just leaves us with, well, Yashvin. What do you say, Leonia? You can't be losing any sleep over this.
And this is like, Leonia looks Max dead in the eyes. We found him trying to escape. There's evidence to tie him to multiple different revolutionaries. And there is probably some way that we can connect Max to Clara Georgievna to Kalganov.
He's their tenant.
Leonia, you can't.
He will.
Misha, given the choice between you and him, isn't the choice obvious?
I'm sure that Yashvin will be extremely cooperative. Yashvin, you're looking at perhaps 10 years penal exile. I've known people who can do that standing on their head. Well, sometimes they're forced to, but you will be fine. You're a good man in excellent health. I'm sure the colony will need a newsletter.
I shove Max forward towards Anton.
Oh, and Count. You may have ideas about what all this means. Be very clear about what this means. I have spared you. I do not forget favors given, nor favors granted. Leonian can tell you all about that.
I grab Misha by
Uh,
the hand and I try to yank him away, back down the alley.
Misha goes for the gun.
Whose gun? Because I haven't pulled mine out yet.
You actually, Anton did pull his
Anton
out.
did.
Yeah.
Misha goes for Anton's gun.
It's time for the resolve tokens. What do you want to have happen here?
What I would like to have happen is for Misha to accidentally kill Anton.
I'm just gonna say I was gonna try to do it on purpose. Like there was a reason that I shoved Max to the side and tried to drag you away, and it was to get behind him.
I mean, I love that. We could both do it. I'm
As a-
cool with us both being little gay heroes in an alleyway.
As a connection, I'm
Three
totally
angry
with-
homosexual heroes is the name of the novel.
As a connection, I am totally okay with this happening, but my only request is there needs to be a little bit more consequences here.
Oh, yeah.
This is Russian tragedy. So I don't know. Somebody gets gut shot. I don't know. Maybe there's all kinds of tragic dying in each other's arms possibilities there. Somebody hears.
I feel like my tragic outcome for Misha was like exile.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't have badly wounded Leonia and Max at the same time because Max also has a gun that has not gone off.
Yeah, there's so many guns in this alleyway. Misha's the only one who didn't enter the alleyway with a gun.
I'm just saying, Anton's gonna die. I just want to know who he shoots on the way out.
Or is there somebody else we have to shoot to cover up for the fact that we have? Because another Dostoevskian consequence
Mhm.
is the innocent person you have to kill to get away with killing the guilty person, the person who deserved it.
Everyone shoots everyone. Leandro, Jesus.
Yeah. I was fully still prepared to pin the murder on Max. Like literally just be like, oh, you're not gonna go in exile as a revolutionary. You're gonna go to prison as a cop killer.
I'm
Better.
okay.
I'm okay with
I'm
that
okay
as a
with-
horrifying consequence.
I'm okay with the stage looking like
Oh.
this. Misha
Yeah,
grabs for Anton's gun. Anton turns and Leona shoots him in the head.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
points the gun at Max.
I think as soon as you that's the point where we have a standoff then, because Max is also armed.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
This is extremely annoying for Misha.
See, now you guys can do whatever you want because it's among the player characters.
Yep. So now Misha is laying on the ground with this dead man with blood everywhere. And the two of you are pointing guns at each other.
Max, it was always coming to something like this. You have done too much. You have made too many mistakes. Shouldn't you atone for them?
I'm not the one who joined the police force.
What do you mean joined the police force? Of course I joined the police force. I've been working to make the streets safer, to make the streets better, to make Russia safer and better. I am serving this country. You have done nothing but complicate things and cause problems and throw people under the bus. Wasn't it your own report that led to Oblonsky's death in the end?
No, it wasn't. It was your arrest of Oblonsky for seditious art that led to Oblonsky's death.
You're the one who named him in your report.
You're the one who was going to name him in the trial.
Be that as it may, Max, you have endangered far too many people.
Ah, and not the man who carries a gun and kills willfully whenever he chooses. Not the man
have
who was
never shot
spying on
someone.
his lover.
I have done nothing but try to protect the Count since then.
Since when?
And then a darker shade of red creeps up Leonia's face and says, oh God, okay. Do not spite my own happiness because you are so bitter.
Your happiness? Betraying your lover makes you happy?
I have done everything I can to protect my lover.
Spying on them for your employer is protecting them. Throwing
He
their
wasn't my
friends
lover when I
under
began
the bus
spying on him.
is protecting them.
Someone has to take the fall here, Max.
I will do it for Misha. I will never, ever, ever take a fall for you.
I did not expect you to.
I don't want you to take a fall for me.
We should get on a boat. I'm sorry, I did not mean to speak to you such. But we should leave now.
Can we?
Nisha, there is a police officer dead on the ground.
Yes.
Can we leave? If the police are watching the docks, I don't think that that's an option.
Have the police ever been honest with you in their lives? I say, looking directly at Leonia.
I love you both and I don't know what to do.
Nisha, what kind of life would it be to live on the run, to be cut off from your resources, to be away from the place that you call home? You can still change things here. You can just do it the right way. There is a way to enact positive change here that does not involve terrorism.
I think Misha, finally pulls himself off the ground. He's like covered in blood and dirt. And he looks between the two of you and says, I think you have too much faith in this place. And I have so much faith in you, but what change can we make if even I am not safe? Who is?
It is possible to be safe here. You need merely have faith in those who can protect you, and I can protect you.
Leonia, is the safety that you could give me worth the indignity of becoming the sort of person who would betray our friends? The things I've
Max is
seen.
no friend of mine. He has betrayed me already.
I mentioned information you gave me in a journalistic report.
You almost had me thrown out of the police force.
So I almost saved your soul. My stepmother would be very proud.
I think Misha attempts to step between the two of you and like lower one of your guns. I think it's Leonia's. I think I like put my hand on top of it and start to pull it to the ground. We
Oh,
can't
if
do
you're
this.
doing that, then I am lowering mine
We can't do
because
this.
I don't trust Russia, but I do trust Misha. I don't know really, you know.
If the cost of freedom is the cost of betraying the people I love, I won't do it.
Misha, I will give you my gun.
Oh, you're muted, Leonia.
This isn't going the way I thought it would. I think that
That demands blood.
Lebensbrot!
so, I mean,
Cats always demand blood.
Misha's doing what I want. Wait, are you saying that you'll stay or that you'll go?
I'm saying that I can't betray the people that I care about in order to be safe. So I'm not going to let you take Max.
Okay. I guess I'm going to spend a resolve token to shoot you in the leg, and then turn my gun on Max.
I'm going
I
to
can
spend a
say you tried
resolve
to
token
run.
to also shoot you in the arm because I'm a bad shot.
I mean, if you wanted to make it a killing shot, I would totally.
No. I feel like it's more Dostoevskian if there's everybody bleeding on the docks except for
The person who deserves it.
yeah.
Great.
Because also I'd already lowered my gun, but if you fire it, I'm going to raise it very quickly and fire wildly because I'm not trained like you are to shoot guns. But
Okay.
Cool. Yep. No, I love the idea of Misha just bleeding out in an alleyway for being too nice a person.
I mean, if we're being 100%, Leonia would go home and use that pistol on the most deserving target. That's Dostoevskian. But we don't have to do that.
So, and I mean, I will say that like I would not shoot Misha in such a way that it would be like a killing shot. Like it's definitely like oh, you're now wounded. You cannot like abscond to the boat. Because my intention is to keep you here. Yeah. So and then I'm shot in the arm. Is it my gun arm or am I gonna like barrel down on Max and try to shoot him some more? And
no, that's just thinking of the gun arm so that we could end.
Okay, yeah, gun arm. And then, oof, yeah, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna go full villain arc here. It's like I start screaming at you, and it's like, this is all your fault. It has always been your fault. You ruined everything. You ruined my chances before. You've ruined my chances again. Why can't you just go away?
I was trying to. Leave. Go
So
get
do
help.
it. So leave.
No. You leave. There is a wounded person here I need to tend to. You've done enough.
Misha would offer help to literally either of you, but he's on the ground crying because he's been shot.
Yeah, I'm honestly trying to figure out like what is the next thing because I have no more resolve tokens to spend, so I cannot try to kill you again.
I have no. I'm out.
I mean, resolve tokens are only to, you know, I mean, you can still negotiate whatever ending you want.
Yeah, I think that Leonia can't just walk away from this. This is a point of pride. If he lets you like succeed over him here, he is basically everything that he thought about himself as a lie. So I think that like wounded arm and all, he charges you, and he is going to try to
negotiation wise, the mutual kill at this point may be the only way we will end a standoff. Because this is the era of the revolver. We're in revolver zone. So we're passing a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get delisted on YouTube, but like the obvious answer would be somebody shoots somebody and then shoots themselves. But
I was also like, this is also two guns go off at once.
yeah, I think we can just do that. And two people slump to the ground, and Misha's lying there bleeding out from a femoral artery.
Yeah.
I am okay with this, actually.
This is great.
Leave us, Todd. Speaking of which,
Yikes.
so
That's where we're gonna leave that off.
I think it's a thing where I'm supposed to meet Clara. And I've got like Fedya with me, and I just tell him stay here. I'm gonna go make sure everything's all right and get Clara. And I go out to meet you, smiling.
Okay, so I do want to talk about this. Do
Yeah,
you want them to run off scot-free, or do you want Clara to have sold Panya?
Oh, I want you to have sold me out.
Okay.
I want
Okay.
this more than anything. I'm not wimping out on this one. I'm going down, and I'm going down hard.
Okay. So I think, all right. I think when you meet Kara, she's gonna have Lyra with her, holding her. Lyra's hugging around Clara, and Kara's holding her up.
Finest mankin, Clara. Everything is ready. We just need to get moving.
Yes. Life on the road. You've been to Switzerland. I heard it's lovely this time of year. It's funny the lengths you're going to at the moment. I'm so caught up in the heat of the moment, I didn't stop to question what is it that is driving you. Panya, what does survival mean to you?
I took a life. I need to get away from this life for a little while. Because it's too easy, Clara.
What is it about this time, this place, that makes doing something so deplorable so easy?
What are you...
Murder.
I'm not going to rehearse the justifications with you because I can't justify them. I did what I thought I had to do.
Would you do it again?
I don't want to. That's why I need to get out for a while. Find other ways to be useful to the cause.
I think Clara nods and smiles, and I think where's this happening again? Is this in Cara's place?
Well, I figured they were out on the street or something.
they're out on the street.
There's
Yeah,
plenty
yeah,
of
yeah.
opportunity for the police to just come out of
Yeah.
an alley or something.
Oh yeah, I think from an alley you hear Pavel Olegovich's voice. Just kind of go, well, let's make sure that won't happen.
Clara, what have you done?
I think Clara laughs almost ashamedly and says, it's like you said, like I just said, something about this time just makes it so easy to do something so deplorable. Murder, betrayal.
I see. And she hauls out the pistol and shoots Pavel Olegovich and starts to run down the street, obviously with cops chasing after her.
Okay, all right.
She grabs Fedya.
Yeah. So the detail I did want to add is the reason why Clara has Lyra in front of her was to use her as a human shield in case in case Panya shot her.
Actually, before she runs, she looks at Clara and says, Fyodor will make a good father. Use him if you need to. Goodbye, my love. And she runs down the alleyway, past Fedya, turns, and you just hear a single pistol shot.
Yeah. I think at that pistol shot, yeah, you hear there's a commotion there out there, like, police converging, police coming over to check on Pavel Oligovich, who's dead. I think Lyra steers from that, and I think Clara just whispers, no, dearie, go back to sleep. Everything's going to be okay. Gives her a kiss on the forehead, brushes her hair, and walks off. Turns her back on whatever happened to Panya, which I'm sure is, totally fine over there.
So good. Do we want any epilogues?
Actually, I want one.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Yeah.
depressing.
I'm sorry. Let me just check again. No, it's still Dostoevsky Society.
I thought it was Andy's rom-com society.
No. Wait. You think this is bad? You all think the French literature is going to be any better?
Look, when it's time to move on to Pat Highsmith Society, like the only rule will be that there can be no consequences for the killer.
Daryl, you had an epilogue, you said?
Yeah. So, although I did say before I would be fine if Leon had totally bit it. Actually, he survived. He survived, and he was found guilty of killing a police officer, and found guilty of shooting a count, and found guilty of a number of other petty crimes that he had done in order to inflate his own position. And so the last that we see of him is once again like almost like a mirror of the very first vignette, and it's like just reflections of him in like a puddle of water in the prison. They reflect the distorted like view of him in like the bars of his cell, and then finally like the last frame of him is just like the camera zooming out as he sits in like a prisoner's outfit in a cell, exactly where he belongs.
I think I have one. There's a scene where the coffins with Praskovia Pavlovna and Viktor Konstanovich are being carried to the cemetery, and there's a huge crowd of protesters trailing them, and the police, of course, come riding down on them, sabers drawn, and there's a huge riot, and like then it sort of just fades out as a photograph pulls back, and there's a Soviet era poster of Praskovia and Viktor Konstanovich as like minor saints of the pre-revolutionary era. And it pulls out again, and it's obviously a police station, and there's people just typing up reports and people being dragged out behind them. So it's ultra irony.
I think we see Misha sitting in an apartment in Moscow or somewhere, like obviously still in Russia. And it's, months and years ticking by, and it's him writing letter after letter, and each one starts with Leonia or L or what have you. And it's just him waiting.
I think the Max family takes his body off to be buried, but it's actually a weighted empty coffin that's buried in a monastery, and the ashes from Max's actual cremation are handed off to the gardeners at what was once Misha's estate to scatter on the roses.
I don't have anything better than Clara walking away yeah, with the winner, quote unquote, of it all.
Clara won Dostoevsky Society because she was willing to use her child as a human shield.
Yeah.
That's how you win Dostoevsky Society. Like, oh, my flesh and blood?
Well,
I would like to
She
be
picked-
cool as possible.
Yeah,
I got as
figured-
close to winning as you can get, just depressingly writing letters to my lover who's in jail.
I mean, they said it couldn't be done. Specifically, I said it couldn't be done, but we did it, I guess. I don't know. This was nice and tragic. So, next year we'll try and wrap up the Russian society with Dr. Zhivago's society, where everybody lives happily ever after again. And communism. We finally got to the communism.
We did it.
Yeah.
It took us a while, and we got to secret police. We did it. We went there.
So I'm gonna see if maybe we if it makes sense to you. So there's a game that's being worked on by Story Brewers along with somebody on the Discord that's supposed to do the kind of childhood to adulthood story of Little Women in the Prairie Books. And Zhivago actually has a kind of similar structure, so I'm pondering if that would make sense.
I love how you take things that are just like very sweet,
Yeah,
and make them terrible.
and we're gonna just because hey, look, if we were able to get through Dostoevsky Society, I don't think we're gonna have any problem with the novel about the woman who's groomed by a dude who just sort of hovers over her the rest of her life.
No, we're gonna do great. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
This
But
is
it's
one of the reasons why I love us. We're just
this is
freaks.
going to be the one where we can lean way more on the adapted media than we need to worry about because the movie is lush and romantic and has sex and all kinds of great stuff, and the international sung in Russian. So we'll give that a shot next year, and then we'll move on to French Society, which is not depressing at all. Nope. It's not like one of the classic novels of French literature is about a woman who drinks poison and dies over 3 days because she liked to fuck other dudes. Until then, that's Russian Society for this year.
After a question.
Yep.
One of my letters is definitely going to Clara from Victor, and I'm just wondering how tight you want the vice grip to be.
Very tight. That sounded weird.
Tighter.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Kat, I want you to understand that I was confused for a moment because Lisa had just sent me a list of eligible works for Hugo nominations, and I was very confused which spreadsheet was which.
This is totally fair.
I was like, editor, what's going on? Anyway,
I,
I also just know that, one of the ways to Kat's heart is quoting Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah. Nancy and Lee were cool. I'm not trying for any wimpy happy ending. I'm hardcore. Forget it, Clara. It's Petersburg.
And you lose in Petersburg.
See, well, the thing is, like, in this analogy, Clara wouldn't be Jack Nicholson. Clara would be John Huston getting away with it.
You are walking off with the little girl, so